Hello, my name is David. I'm in Canada, sitting on the bench. I'm gonna reply to your questions today, so be ready! The first question is coming from Matthias Kasia. What do you think about free software like Ubuntu Studio on Linux? First, it's free, so for that, it's cool. Second, it runs on Linux, so it's for different people. It's for people who like running Linux on their computer. Third, there is nothing that is better than something else. It's just a matter of taste. If you try it, you like it, and you use it, and it works good, then it's great. But I really don't know that software, so it's hard for me to give my opinion about that. Second question from him. How do you build your acoustic panels? Where is my panel? Like you can see in this room, I have a lot of those panels that I made with my dad. It's in fact a simple fabric that is covering the panel. Inside it's some kind of bed mattress that you sleep on it, that we cut to fit that size, and finally we put some fabric on it. It's also having a frame all around to keep that as a nice square. So it's really homemade. It's not the best thing that you can get on your walls to remove some of that crap reverb, but it's still doing the job, so yeah! And a question from someone that did not write his name. Hey David, you have played and still you play mini electric guitars. So my questions, which one do you prefer? It's hard to say because they are all different, and but I can tell you my two favorite ones are my Gibson SG Supreme and the guitar from Hushmid that Patrick did. It's really two great guitars. Different, of course. The one that is homemade is really, the quality is really the best. But to play long hours, I still prefer my Gibson SG Supreme. It's hard to answer because the Jackson is also for different kind of music. The tuning is lower on that one. The Fender is nice also to get that more crunch. To play more like Nirvana and those types. So I would still say the two that I named. Which one is the best, easiest and comfortable to play? It's still the Gibson SG Supreme. I really feel, I never feel tired playing with that. It's the only one guitar that I have that I never feel that I'm tired. Which one, electric guitar, is your recommendation for a beginner? I'm only a small woman and I don't have so tall hands. Good question. In fact, you can start with every electric guitar that is in good condition. And after you're gonna see what you prefer. Because it doesn't matter if you start with a cheap guitar or an expensive model. You're still gonna learn the same way, and as long as the guitar is in good condition. Which equipment to use? That's not complicated. The guitar, a good amplifier, it can be really cheap and really tiny, we don't care. And guitar picks, cable, tuner. Yeah, that's it. You don't need so much to start playing electric guitar. How do you start to play guitar? It was at school, but it was really basic and we was only playing really simple songs. I really learned by myself a lot. It's because I need to say that I'm lucky to have a good ear. And in fact, after only a few months, I could already play a lot of stuff that I listened. So yeah. But if you need a teacher, just sometimes it's good, to pay a little in the beginning to have a private teacher, and after you're gonna see how you feel about that. Can you give us some tips for recording at home? What digital audio workstation or plugins do you use? Any advice to improve the sound after recording? Add compressor, limiter, equalizer, or the best way to apply them? Thanks and greetings from Spain. I'm gonna show you more in the future the gears that I use, but if you really want to know how I use them, I suggest you to go on my Patreon page and to support me, so you will have access to all my future videos about home studio and mixing music. Did you study audio engineer or it was by yourself? Because your mix are excellent. Thank you! What software do you use for the drums, or is it the stock one from the eDrum kit? First, to reply to the first question, I learned it by myself and it makes me really happy that you say that it sounds excellent, because it makes me really happy. Second, about software for the drum sound, most of the time I'm using Steven Slate drums. That is, in my opinion, really the best and the simplest one to use. I'm really not using often the sounds from the drum. To be honest, it sucks. But to play and to record, it's really only on the computer, so yes. And the same person is telling me, keep doing that excellent job. Thank you! You're inspiration for someone like me. And it makes him happy. And it makes him happy, so it makes me happy. And it makes you happy, that it makes me happy, so everyone is happy! Coming from Luis Rogelio Hernandez Lopez. Ooh. Lucas is asking me, what is the best sound card? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think that there is a best. It really depends of what you need. It depends of how much input, how much are you ready to spend. But I really like mine, the Stanbird MR816CSX. It's a really good one. I'm really having good results using that one. And to be honest, I see a difference with the sound quality since I'm using that one. So, Diomar from Portugal. I want to know, what age were you when that passion to music came? I'm watching you since 2008 and I love it, man. Cheers from Portugal. Cheers from Quebec, Canada. Oh, I forgot the question. In fact, I play music since I'm a young kid. Young. You don't see my hand. I'm really low. But it's really when I started playing guitar at school that I really realized that I really want to record my songs all by myself. So I never give up, and I started recording instruments one by one and to practice more and more. So it's really in me since I'm a young kid, in fact. Rodrigo from Chile. I'm making a home studio too. I did not knew too much about it, and I think that I'm not buying the stuff in the right order. I've got a mini mixer, microphone and stuff, but I don't have an interface. Is it necessary? Also, I don't have the preamplifier. What else I need? It's good to go in the Logic way when we have the setup, to get the good setup. Of course, if you don't have the audio interface, all the rest doesn't really matter, because you need to enter the computer. So yes, of course, a good audio interface is really what you need. Having good preamp, it really depends, but if you have a good budget, I suggest you to get also a good preamp. It's always useful, and of course you have some preamp on your audio. Oh shit! I'm sorry. You already have some preamp on the audio. You already have some preamp on the audio interface, but if you want to get something better and more useful, then yes, you should really watch for that. Joey from Holland. I'm a guitar player, trying to, with a smile. You're gonna do it, I know. My question is how you initiate the song from the start. Like, is it the rhythm that triggers you to a certain direction, or is it while jamming, improvising the guitars? No, I'm kidding. In fact, it really depends of the song, because there is not one project that is the same. But mainly I have some kind of idea in head. But most of the time it's coming from improvisation because I record some stuff and after I just realize that I can record what I have in head and in a really freedom way. So I would say that yes, it's really improvisation a lot, a lot, a lot. What strings do you use for your guitars, and maybe what are you using the strings to, and maybe why are you using the strings you use? Oh, you use. I'm using Elixir strings because I need to tell you something. My hands and fingers are always wet. Maybe we don't see right now on the camera. But every time I play guitar, the strings are always wet after, so I would need to always remove the sweat. This is why I'm using the Elixir strings, because they are protected by a tiny protection on the strings. So it's really good for me. They cost more, but finally they last a longer time. And why am I using that tuning? I think it comes from the music I was listening in the past. Mainly Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, they was often using that tuning, so I always drop my strings a little. My tuning is lower a little. I'm doing that, but it means lower. But it's still good. To my ears, I prefer that tuning, so... Oh. What kind of picks do you use for guitar playing? Let's see right now. My favorite are still the what is the name again? Hey, I really forgot the name. Dunlop. The 1mm, the black one from Dunlop. Right now I'm playing with some... What is the name? Clayton from USA. 94mm. That 94mm, it's really hard, but with those one you hear more the sound coming from the strings. But yeah, my favorite are still the Dunlop 1mm, the black one. I don't have them with me right now, but the one from Hushmid are really good as well. I think it's my favorite, in fact. It's really my favorite, but I'm not having that one with me. It's some kind of fat one and it plays so good. It's like in a dream to play with that. Would you be interested of doing some form of tutorial lesson on guitars? In fact, I prefer to do tutorial for mixing because about playing guitar, I don't know what to say because I always learn by myself and I have no idea what to teach people because for me it's still a mystery that it's hard to teach when you learn by yourself because it's really it's hard to reply to that. I don't know what to say about that. I would like to teach everyone to play guitar like the way I learned, but I don't know how to start because it's so messy in my head because I even don't remember what I did in the beginning. But remember that the more you play, the better you will get and easier it will get for you, and just never stop playing. Always play a little each day. It's the best.
Hi David, is it possible to mix on cheap speaker or mix on headphones?
Yes, it's possible, but it's hard because you want speakers that are really flat, that you can really trust, and if you don't have good speakers to mix on, maybe your songs are gonna sound different on other systems. So if I was you, I would spend a little more money on good speakers. About headphones, I don't suggest to mix mainly with headphones because they are not good for the stereo image. Since our ears get isolated on each side, it's not the best. Constantin from Russia, how do you make money with your music? In the beginning it was mainly with the YouTube views because it was crazy in the beginning. When I started to be a YouTube partner, sometimes I could get 80,000 views a day. That was just insane. But now with the time, it feels like if YouTube is starting to be so big, there is so much videos, and of course my videos are not as popular as before. So right now I would say that it's still the views from YouTube, people who buy my songs on iTunes, and mainly the new start for me is Patreon. I really suggest you to take a look at that. If you are an artist that wants some support from the fans, just take a look at Patreon. It's really, really great. Drew Chapin from USA. Hey David, my question is, have you ever considered playing in a band with other musicians and performing shows? Maybe even picking up a label and doing it as a career? Is that something that interests you? It's my dream, to play concert in different countries and to travel with music, and it would be so great. But for some reason, right now, I cannot see myself traveling and to play in different places because it's hard to make it happen for real, because I'm used to play alone, and even if I play with some friends sometimes, it's not something that is people discovered me on YouTube when I play alone and I am a one-man band, but trying to do that on the scene is gonna be something completely different. So as long as it's not a big project that we build up, I still prefer to wait and to continue to play online, and let's see in the future. I still hope really for that it's gonna be really big in the future. It's my dream, and you are supporting me,
And I appreciate that.
Val Viola, do you recommend a Midi controller or a synth? If you are the kind of person that always like to play without a computer, I would still tell you to get a good synth. If you have a lot of money, of course, get a real synth. But if you're like me, that you play mainly with computers and that you don't have so much money to spend on keyboard, buy a MIDI controller and buy different plugins, and you're gonna have a better setup that way. You have more control also on your sounds. But if you are a crazy musician that plays synth all the time, continue with your synth. You see, it's really for different people. So thank you again for your questions. I hope you enjoyed my answers. I want to say thank you to everyone who are supporting me on Patreon. It's really thanks to you that I can continue to make those videos. Without you, I would be somewhere else. So thanks again for your questions, and we see each other really soon.
Hey.
Also, I'm still waiting to get some real mail to my new address that I have now. It can be a music CD that you have, or you're free to send me whatever you want, and I'm gonna be happy to unbox the package in front of the camera and to share that with you after. So really feel free to send me whatever you want, and I'm gonna be happy to open that with you. And please continue to send me your questions, and I'm gonna answer as soon as I can. Hey, hey!